Good, Danny. How do you feel? Did that help?
It felt really good. Uh, Using a pitching wedge, making it a smaller stroke, you can definitely see the more consistent landing zone,
Hmm.
and you can tell the rollout will be more predictable.
Yeah.
I felt like with my 58, no matter what I try to do, soften the hands,
Hmm.
shorten the swing, you could either stop super short
Right.
or roll past the hole.
Right.
So what I'm going to do now is keep working on this pitching wedge, kind of like a bump and
Yeah.
run and
Yeah. Yeah.
small
Yeah.
strokes,
Yeah,
less
it's
movement.
no, very good. Yeah, it's good to understand. Obviously, I don't. It's not like that. We want to take that 58 out of your hand. There's obviously going to be situations where you need to use that 58 and you need to flight it a little bit because you still need that spin, right? I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
again, it wasn't the worst club for this type of shot, solely because we are downhill. And if we're being really specific, we're also downwind on firm greens that are fast. But it's good to understand what club does what. How can we hit the same shot 3 or 4 different ways, right? And for you today, the pitching wedge is a little bit easier. Sometimes that pitching wedge might not be that easy that day. You might be more comfortable with a 54. And as long as you know how to, maybe even the 58, maybe the 58, you're just feeling it that day, you want to keep using it, be my guest.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shot you're most comfortable with is obviously going to be the shot to go to, but being comfortable with 3 or 4 different shots or different trajectories or different clubs for the same shot, is ultimately going to help you in the long run, right?
Yeah, you just open up your
Yeah,
bag to different solutions
yeah,
to the problem.
right. So with the 58, right, where we started, right, there was a lot of forward shaft lean, which obviously means the hands are forward, and then your weight was even more forward, right? So you had to be pretty precise. Then we moved up to a 54, and your 50, lessened that a little bit. Kind of saw what the trajectory was like for those. Still wasn't finding exactly what we wanted. And we moved up to your last wedge, your pitching wedge, right? Got that ball on the ground a little bit sooner. We have a pretty clean landing area here, right? And that ball was able to stay pretty close,
Yeah.
right, to the hole. And one thing we didn't dive too deep into was the angle of attack, right? With the 58, you have to be pretty steep, right? And if you're pretty steep on these lies that are pretty tight, and generally here we have pretty soft soil, so the minute we hit that ground,
You're catching.
yeah, you're screwed, right? You're gonna hit that low dribbler, right? With the pitching wedge, right, we saw about a 4-degree difference in angle of attack, right, which gives us just a little bit more, and obviously there's more bounce too. Gives us